Let's jump right in. You don't need to suffer to succeed. Seriously, you were taught your whole life that pain equals progress, right? But honestly, that is the biggest lie keeping you stuck. For so long, we've bought into this toxic idea that if we aren't hurting, stressing out, or just completely exhausted, we simply aren't growing. But in today's explainer, we're going to completely shatter that myth.
Because what we are really looking at here is the massive difference between forcing results and actually acting in alignment. On one side, you have the classic late-night grind. You know the feeling, rubbing your eyes in pure frustration, completely crippled by overthinking. But flip that script. Imagine calm, focused, peaceful working, taking a deep breath and just shifting into a state of absolute clarity. That is what we're aiming for.
So you might be wondering, does success really require struggle? The short answer? No way. Real success doesn't come from endless struggle. It comes from alignment, a structural alignment between who you actually are and what you do. We've literally been asking the wrong question this whole time. We constantly ask who is successful, instead of asking successful at what exactly, and at what personal cost.
Which brings us to an absolutely crucial point. When it feels right, it flows. It really is that simple. When you finally stop forcing things, your work naturally flows. All that awful friction just disappears, and you replace anxious effort with effortless action and confident energy. And you know what's amazing? This isn't just some poetic philosophy. It is a measurable, psychological reality.
Let's dive right into Section 1, the lie of hustle culture.
Look, the idea that you have to grind yourself into dust to be worthy is a total myth. We see the hidden costs of this hustle script absolutely everywhere today. It's all about shipping faster, sleeping way less, and turning private discipline into public proof of merit on social media. But here's the reality check. We have built workplaces and habits that literally trigger our fight-or-flight responses. We're treating humans like inefficient machines that just need to be pushed harder. And if you push indefinitely, you're going to completely exhaust the very cognitive and physiological capacities your work depends on, deeply depressing your overall well-being.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 2, the physics of misalignment.
This right here is exactly why we get so exhausted. And spoiler alert, it's not just from working too many hours. It's about something much deeper. It's called misalignment burnout. Essentially, this is a sustained gap, a deep crisis of meaning between who we are, what our core values are, and what we actually do day to day. It's a profound crisis of identity where your innermost self is basically refusing to have its values ignored any longer. It's the most insidious, yet most overlooked form of burnout out there today.
It creates this fascinating dichotomy. We've all felt volume burnout, right? Too many tasks, too much red tape, too little time. But misalignment burnout is a whole different beast. It's working in ways that completely contradict your core values and convictions, just to achieve some superficial idea of success. So it's not just the sheer quantity of work that's crushing you, it's the lack of psychological integrity in the work itself.
To really wrap your head around this, think about the structural integrity of an airplane. That integrity is what allows it to carry incredibly heavy loads and withstand enormous pressure while flying at 30,000 feet. But if that integrity is compromised even a little bit, catastrophic fracture. Physics doesn't wait. Just like an airplane, we humans can carry incredibly heavy loads when our lives are coherent and aligned. But we buckle under far lighter loads when our structural integrity is compromised by doing things we just don't believe in.
So how do we fix this? Let's get into Section 3, the art of effortless action. To fix this structural fracture, we actually need to look at an ancient concept that is absolutely revolutionizing modern science. Looking at the evolution of peak performance, we see that aligning with natural flow always beats forcing effort. It starts way back in ancient times with the Taoist concept of Wu Wei, which literally translates to effortless action. Then, jumping to the 1960s, psychology formally mapped the state of complete absorption as flow. And now, in the 2020s, modern neuroscience confirms that hitting this flow state physically changes our brain, shifting us from effortful, draining processing to automatic, highly efficient processing.
This brings us to a phenomenal insight from researcher Edward Slingerland. He says, "We're made for doing, not thinking." It's kind of like that ancient story of Butcher Ding. His knife stayed razor-sharp for 19 years because he intuitively found the empty spaces between the joints rather than just violently hacking at the bone. True mastery is all about embodied practice, not overthinking. Our absolute best performance happens when we just get out of our own way and let intuitive action take over.
Moving right along to Section 4, the science of flow.
Okay, so what is the exact psychological science of accessing this optimal state? Because it's not just magic, it's a measurable reality. The psychologist, Csikszentmihalyi, identified 3 foundational conditions for flow. Number 1, ensure your goals are perfectly clear. You need to know exactly what success looks like right in this moment. Number 2, receive immediate feedback on your actions so you can course correct in real time. And number 3, strike a precise balance between the challenge and your skill level. You really have to find that sweet spot just beyond your comfort zone, where a task is stretching your skills but not so hard that it triggers anxiety.
When you nail those 3 conditions, boom, you get intense concentration. Action and awareness just merge into one seamless motion. You completely lose your self-consciousness and all that nagging worry. You gain this profound sense of control, and time seems to either fly by in a flash or slow way down. Psychologists call this being autotelic, which basically means the task is intrinsically rewarding. The gap between your thoughts and your actions completely vanishes, and the work itself becomes the reward. It's an incredible feeling.
So how do we make this our reality? Welcome to Section 5, the Intentionality Framework. How do we practically apply this to escape the hustle trap and build a truly sustainable life? Well, here is the actionable path to intentional living. Step 1, identify your true core values and beliefs. And I mean, really dig deep. Don't just adopt someone else's, find yours. Step 2, set goals and visions that align specifically with those values. Step 3, take purposeful, deliberate action toward them. Listen, that healthy kind of hustle that we all admire in high performers, it's actually just a natural byproduct of being fiercely intentional about these 3 steps. They aren't forcing it, they're fueled by alignment.
Now, I want to give you a crucial bonus tip here. Not everything has to be intentional. Autopilot is actually amazing. Please don't fall into the trap of turning intentionality into just another exhausting performance metric. It is perfectly fine to let some filler moments in your life run on autopilot. Just imagine how utterly exhausted you would be if every single tiny thing you did had to be deeply purposeful. Give yourself the grace to just be.
Let's bring it all home in Section 6. Stop forcing, start aligning. Let's pull all of this together so you can permanently heal the exhaustion that's been holding you back. If you are feeling that deep misalignment burnout we talked about, here are 3 steps to heal. First, clarify your specific values mismatches at work. Like, what is the actual lived experience of your job versus what you truly care about? Second, brainstorm practical shifts to bring your daily actions into alignment. That could mean setting new boundaries or maybe pivoting your career entirely. And third, imagine and create entirely new success narratives. You have got to let go of the old stories that looked good on paper and start designing a life that actually feels good in practice.
So, are you ready to stop forcing, start aligning, and find your effortless flow? If so, the source material for today's explainer, Success Without Suffering by Jay Jabhan, offers an amazing deep dive into this entire transformation. Stop forcing, start aligning. Get the book. The link is right there in the bio. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with one provocative question to chew on today. What hidden misalignments are quietly draining your energy right now? And what is one small, authentic step you can take today to step back into the flow?